Hello, and welcome to Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am your host, John Rothman. If you're a fan of the show, make sure to hit the follow button on the top right of Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening at this very moment. When you hit follow, leave a review or share an episode with a friend. It helps other people discover the show, keeps us going. As I like to point out each and every day, it expands our base. I must confess this morning that I am deeply troubled. I've been teaching courses on the American presidency for decades and have had the opportunity to speak in forums about former presidents and the conduct of the presidency. And so what happened yesterday in the Oval Office so shocked me, I could hardly wait to get on with you this morning. President Donald Trump, sitting in the Oval Office behind the resolute desk, accused his predecessor, Barack Hussein Obama, as he calls him pejoratively, of being a traitor to the United States. I listened with incredulity that, frankly, there was not a moment of outrage. It seemed to me as if it has become so routine to have Donald Trump make egregious statements that we overlook the import of this particular comment. By the way, sitting with him when he made the comment was the president of the Philippines, Ferdinand Marcos Jr. Can you imagine a president of the United States in the setting of the Oval Office with the president of another sovereign nation in the room, accusing his predecessor of treason? And the sad thing is, we've gotten so used to it. It's so routine for Donald Trump to make these kinds of egregious statements that there is almost no reaction. I learned a long time ago that words matter. What you say, how you express yourself, it makes a huge difference. And that, by the way, is particularly true not only with us, but with the President of the United States. Now, you may agree or disagree with Barack Obama on many issues. You may say, well, I didn't agree with this policy or that policy. That's fine. That is America. You can do the same thing if you disagree with Donald Trump. And we do. But the simple fact is, I don't believe that it is correct or befitting the office of the President of the United States of America to accuse one's predecessor of treason. Now, during the Civil War, there were leaders in the Confederate States of America who were accused of treason, and some of them paid the consequence. But in the end, there was a reason for that statement. There was a civil war. There was a question of national sovereignty. But in this case, it is simply petty vindictiveness. The President of the United States lashing out, as he did last week, at the combination of Comey, Biden, and Obama, and blaming them for everything dealing with the Epstein case. But can you imagine? There was little reaction to that as well. Even though we know it's completely untrue, that there is no relevance in terms of time when Comey, Biden, and Obama were in office for any of the Epstein issues to even surface in this fashion. But now, to have Donald Trump attack Barack Obama and pejoratively use the term Hussein, his middle name, is to me the lowest of the lows for Donald Trump. And I know that may sound strange to you, but it is because I have a certain reverence for the presidency of the United States. And I believe that when you speak from the Oval Office, your words should be measured. Words have impact, and we are seeing that every day in this administration. So I wanted this morning on Around the Political World with John Rothman to tell you that I believe Donald Trump has sunk to a new low, a low that is almost incomprehensible. I am reminded that when I am in Disney World and I go to the Hall of the Presidents, each and every president is there. They have the images, the little robots of all the presidents. And interestingly enough, there is no doubt that Barack Obama will remain in that pantheon, and Donald Trump will remain in that pantheon. And yes, Barack Obama will remain in that pantheon. But there is something wrong when you have a president of the United States of America seated in the Oval Office, making the kind of accusation that Donald Trump made yesterday. I will never get used to that kind of rhetorical, horrific statements. I will never cease to be outraged by those kinds of statements by Donald Trump. And may I say, it wouldn't matter to me who was president of the United States. Someone making those kinds of comments, well, you have to stand up and you have to say something. And that's what I'm doing with you right now. I take Donald Trump seriously because he is the president of the United States, because he is the commander-in-chief, because he does have the support of Republicans in Congress. And, well, there is something terribly wrong when a president of the United States can get away with what Donald Trump said yesterday. Do you understand? Am I completely wrong? I don't think so. Treason, sedition. We saw in our country's history moments when those were relevant terms. And I would suggest to you on January 6th, the president of the United States at that time, Donald Trump, well, he sanctioned sedition, the overthrow of the government. And this, to me, is the most interesting thing of all, that Donald Trump can make these kinds of statements, and our memories are such that we sort of let it go. I won't let it go. You may disagree with Barack Obama, but treason? Absolutely not. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Around the Political World with John Rothman. I am John Rothman. Make sure to follow along and let me know your thoughts on the show by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts and sharing an episode with a friend or colleague so we can continue to grow and expand, which, of course, is our goal. You can offer comments by going to LinkedIn, by going to Facebook, by emailing me directly, and of course, I welcome your comments. And a special thank you to Gogo Zoger, the wonderful producer of this podcast. Thanks, Gogo, for everything you do. I am John Rothman. You are listening to Around the Political World with John Rothman, and I will be back tomorrow. See you then.